My child, stop for a moment. Do not let this message pass you by because what you are about to hear was not placed in your path by accident. Don't skip. Stay until the end because something huge is waiting for you, and every moment of this message is connected to the next. A truth has just come to light, and the person who has been carrying questions about you can no longer look at you the same way. Everything changed in an instant. Not because the world suddenly became different, but because hidden pieces finally came together. What they believed yesterday no longer exists today. What they assumed about your heart, your intentions, and your journey has been completely replaced by something they never expected to discover. This moment is bigger than it appears, and if you leave too early, you may miss the very part that explains why this change happened now instead of months ago. Stay with this message because every sentence is opening another door that has been closed for a very long time. They tried to convince themselves that they understood your silence. They believed distance meant indifference. They believed unanswered moments carried no meaning. But today, something unexpected reached them. A conversation, a memory, a realization, something so simple that it could not be ignored. Suddenly every misunderstanding began to fall apart. Every conclusion they had built without knowing the full story started collapsing one by one. Don't skip. The next few moments matter more than you realize. They are replaying moments they once ignored. They are remembering words they dismissed. They are seeing kindness where they once imagined rejection. They are recognizing patience where they once imagined absence. Their heart has become quiet because it is finally listening instead of assuming. They cannot return to the version of reality they believed before today. Once truth enters a heart, it changes everything forever. That is exactly what has happened. Right now they are asking themselves questions they never thought they would ask. What if they misunderstood you? What if your silence was never meant to push them away? What if every delay carried a purpose they could not see? These questions are growing louder with every passing moment. They cannot escape them because truth has a way of following every thought until it is finally accepted. Stay till the end because something even greater is unfolding. There is another layer that has not yet been revealed, and it explains why this discovery arrived at this exact moment instead of earlier. Timing has always been part of the story, even when nobody recognized it. Sometimes answers wait until hearts are ready to receive them. Today feels different because readiness has finally arrived. You may feel as though nothing has changed on the outside, but unseen changes often happen long before visible ones. That is why this message found you today. This is not about rushing ahead. This is about recognizing that quiet transformations are already taking place. While others see ordinary moments, something extraordinary is being prepared beneath the surface. If this message speaks to your heart, write 111 in the comments as a sign that you are still here and still believing that meaningful moments arrive exactly when they are meant to. Keep listening because the next part reveals what happened after your person accepted the truth, and that changed far more than anyone expected. Don't skip, something huge is still waiting for you. Wait. Before your mind jumps ahead, listen carefully because the story has just reached the moment that changed everything forever. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you, and what happened next was the one possibility your person never expected. After discovering the truth, they could no longer pretend that nothing had changed. Every memory suddenly carried a different meaning. The moments they once overlooked became impossible to ignore. They realized that your kindness had never been weakness, your silence had never been emptiness, and your patience had never meant you had stopped caring. In a single instant, the picture they had created in their mind completely fell apart, replaced by a truth that felt impossible to deny. They kept asking themselves the same question again and again: how did I fail to see this before? That question followed them everywhere. Every quiet moment became another reminder that the answers had been in front of them all along. Don't skip, because this is only the beginning of what was revealed. As they continued thinking, another realization appeared. It was even more powerful than the first. They understood that every delay, every unexpected turn, and every unanswered moment had quietly been preparing both of you for a completely different chapter. What once looked like distance suddenly looked like preparation. What once looked like confusion suddenly looked like perfect timing. Stay till the end because something huge is waiting for you. There is still one missing piece, and when it finally comes into place, the entire story will make sense. Right now, if this message feels strangely personal, type 222 in the comments. Let that number be your quiet sign that you are still following this journey. Then keep listening, because your person's next decision was not made from confusion anymore. It was made after seeing the truth with completely different eyes. And that decision became the beginning of something nobody around them saw coming. Don't skip. The biggest revelation has not arrived yet. Listen closely, because what happened after your person accepted the truth was something they never imagined would happen. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you, and the next few moments reveal why this discovery became impossible to ignore. For the first time in a long while, they stopped listening to fear and started listening to what their heart had been trying to say all along. Suddenly, little details they had forgotten returned with incredible clarity. A smile they once overlooked. A conversation they thought was ordinary. A moment they believed had no meaning. Each memory now carried a message that had been hidden in plain sight. The truth they discovered about you did not simply change an opinion. It completely transformed the direction of their thoughts. They realized they had been looking at your story through the wrong window, and now everything looked different. Don't skip, because the biggest shift had not even happened yet. Stay with this message because every sentence is leading to a revelation that connects the title to everything you have heard so far. Then something even more unexpected happened. Instead of moving away from those thoughts, they became more curious. They began connecting moments from different seasons of their life and noticed a pattern they had never seen before. Every path that seemed to separate them from you somehow led their thoughts back to you again. Every attempt to move on only reminded them that something unfinished still remained between your journeys. That realization was impossible to silence. It followed them through quiet mornings, busy afternoons, and peaceful evenings. The more they reflected, the stronger the truth became. It was no longer a passing feeling, it had become a deep certainty that something meaningful had been misunderstood for far too long. If this message feels like it arrived at exactly the right moment, write 777 in the comments as your angel number and continue listening. Stay till the end because something huge is waiting for you. The next part reveals the one decision your person quietly made after discovering the truth. A decision that nobody around them expected, but one that changed the entire story forever. Everything became quiet, and that silence revealed more than words ever could. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you, because this was the exact moment your person stopped questioning the truth and started accepting it completely. They were no longer searching for another explanation. They were no longer trying to convince themselves that what they had discovered about you was only temporary. Instead, they found themselves looking back over every chapter with completely new eyes. Suddenly, moments that once seemed ordinary became unforgettable. Every misunderstanding turned into a lesson. Every delay became part of a larger design they had never noticed before. The truth they found about you did not simply change their opinion. It changed the direction of their future thoughts. They realized they had underestimated your heart, misunderstood your silence, and overlooked the quiet strength that had been present all along. Stay till the end because the most unexpected moment is still ahead, and once you hear it, the title of this message will make perfect sense. Then another realization arrived without warning. They understood that the truth was not only changing how they saw you. It was changing how they saw themselves. For the first time, they recognized how fear had influenced so many of their decisions. Instead of blaming the past, they chose to learn from it. Instead of holding on to old assumptions, they quietly released them one by one. A new sense of clarity replaced confusion, and with that clarity came a decision that had never felt possible before. They knew they could not return to the version of the story they had believed yesterday because the truth had already rewritten it. If you feel that this message found you for a reason, write 888 in the comments as your angel number and keep listening. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you. The next part reveals the quiet step your person decided to take after accepting the truth, and that single step became the beginning of a completely different future than anyone expected. Just when it seemed the story had reached its turning point, an even greater revelation quietly appeared. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you, because this is the moment your person's heart stopped resisting what had become impossible to ignore. After discovering the truth about you, they began noticing signs in places they had never looked before. Familiar conversations sounded different. Old memories carried new meaning. Even the smallest details seemed to point back to one unforgettable realization: they had never truly understood who you were until now. The truth was not loud, yet it echoed through every thought they had. They finally recognized that your actions had always spoken more clearly than the assumptions they once believed. Every misunderstanding started disappearing, and in its place came respect, admiration, and a quiet sense that something important had been waiting to happen all along. Don't skip, because the next part of this journey explains why this change happened at the exact moment it did, and why it could not have happened any sooner. Then came the moment that surprised them the most. They realized they were no longer asking whether the truth was real. Instead, they began asking what they should do now that they knew it. That single question changed everything. It replaced hesitation with clarity and uncertainty with purpose. They understood that some opportunities only become visible after the heart is willing to see beyond old expectations. That realization filled them with a calm confidence they had never experienced before. It was as though every unanswered question from the past had quietly been preparing them for this exact chapter. If this message feels as though it has found you at the perfect time, write 999 in the comments as your angel number and keep listening. Stay till the end. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you. The next part reveals the unexpected step your person chose to take after embracing the truth, a step that quietly opened the door to a future neither of you could have imagined at the beginning of this story. Have you noticed how the biggest changes often begin in complete silence? That is exactly where this story has arrived. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you, because your person's next realization became the one moment that could never be undone. After discovering the truth about you, they stopped searching for proof and started trusting what every memory had been trying to tell them. They remembered the moments when you chose patience instead of pressure, kindness instead of pride, and hope instead of giving up. Those memories returned with incredible clarity, almost as if they had been waiting for the perfect time to be understood. Suddenly, they realized that the person they had been trying to understand was never hiding the truth at all. The truth had always been there, they simply were not ready to see it. That realization changed their heart more than anyone around them could imagine. Don't skip, because the next few moments reveal why this discovery became impossible to forget. Stay with this message because the greatest turning point is closer than ever. Then something unexpected happened deep within their thoughts. Instead of looking back with regret, they began looking forward with renewed hope. They understood that the truth had not arrived to remind them of what they lost, but to show them what was still possible. Every unanswered question began transforming into quiet confidence. Every fear slowly gave way to peace. They realized that some stories are delayed, not denied, because the right understanding arrives only when both hearts have grown enough to recognize its value. That was the greatest surprise of all. The truth they found about you did not close a chapter, it opened one they never believed could exist. If these words resonate with your spirit, write 1212 in the comments as your angel number and continue listening. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. In the next part, the quiet decision your person makes after embracing this truth begins creating a chain of events that nobody saw coming, and that moment becomes the most unforgettable part of this entire journey. There was one final piece of the puzzle your person never expected to uncover, and the moment it appeared, nothing inside them remained the same. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. This was not another passing thought or temporary emotion. This was the kind of realization that quietly rewrites an entire story. They looked back at everything they once believed about you and realized that nearly every assumption had been built without seeing the complete picture. The truth they discovered was far greater than a single conversation or a single moment. It was a collection of hidden details that suddenly fit together perfectly. The kindness you showed when nobody noticed, the strength you carried without asking for recognition, and the hope you protected even during uncertain seasons all became impossible for them to ignore. For the first time, they saw the real you instead of the version created by misunderstandings. Don't skip, because the next revelation connects every part of this journey into one unforgettable moment. Stay with this message because the biggest emotional shift has only just begun. Then something happened that even surprised your person. They stopped wondering whether they should believe the truth and started wondering why it had taken them so long to recognize it. That question echoed through every memory they revisited. They realized that every delay had quietly prepared them to value what they once overlooked. Suddenly, they understood that the truth about you had become the turning point they never saw coming. Their perspective changed, their expectations changed, and even their future began to look different. What once felt uncertain now carried a quiet sense of direction. It was as though every unanswered question had been leading to this exact realization all along. If this message speaks deeply to your heart, write 444 in the comments as your angel number and keep listening. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. In the next part, your person makes one quiet decision after accepting the truth, a decision that begins opening doors neither of you imagined could ever open, bringing this extraordinary story closer to its most powerful revelation. For a brief moment, time seemed to stand still. Because your person reached a realization that could never be forgotten. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Everything they had believed before this day suddenly felt incomplete. The truth about you was no longer just something they had heard, it became something they could feel. Every hidden detail, every overlooked memory, and every quiet act of kindness began connecting like pieces of a masterpiece they had never noticed before. They finally understood that your journey had always been deeper than appearances. The strength you carried without recognition, the patience you showed without reward, and the hope you protected through every season became impossible to ignore. At that very moment, your person realized they had been searching for answers in the wrong places while the real answer had been quietly standing before them all along. Don't skip, because the next few moments reveal why this realization became the greatest turning point of their story. Stay with this message, because what comes next changes not only how they see you, but also how they see the future itself. Then an unexpected sense of peace entered their heart. Instead of wondering what had gone wrong, they began asking what could still become possible. That single change in perspective transformed everything. The truth they discovered about you replaced uncertainty with confidence and hesitation with quiet determination. They no longer wanted to hold on to old misunderstandings because those misunderstandings no longer matched reality. They understood that some truths arrive exactly when they are needed most, and this was one of those moments. It felt as though every delay had been preparing them for this exact realization. If these words feel like they were meant to reach you today, write 1010 in the comments as your angel number and continue listening. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The next part reveals the unexpected step your person quietly begins taking after accepting the truth, a step that starts creating changes neither of you could have imagined when this journey first began. One quiet realization remained, and it was the one your person could not escape. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Every step of this journey has been leading to this exact moment, because after discovering the truth about you, they finally understood that the greatest mistake was never losing hope, it was believing a story that had never been complete. They began replaying countless memories, not with regret, but with new understanding. They noticed the moments when you stayed calm while others would have walked away. They remembered your consistency when everything around you seemed uncertain. They recognized that your character had been revealing the truth all along, yet they had been too distracted by appearances to truly see it. Now everything looked different. The truth had become brighter than every misunderstanding that once surrounded it. Don't skip, because what happened next became the confirmation they never expected to receive. Stay with this message because the biggest emotional shift is still unfolding. Then something remarkable happened inside your person's heart. Instead of asking, "What if I was right?" they began asking, "What if this truth was always guiding me here?" That question changed everything. It replaced fear with hope, confusion with clarity, and hesitation with quiet confidence. They realized that every unexpected delay had protected this moment from arriving too early. They finally accepted that some answers cannot be forced, they appear only when the heart is ready to receive them. That realization became the beginning of an entirely new chapter, one built not on assumptions but on understanding. If this message feels deeply connected to your journey, write 555 in the comments as your angel number and continue listening. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. In the next part, the final hidden piece is revealed, showing why your person's discovery about you changed everything in an instant and why nothing after this moment could ever remain the same. The moment has finally arrived, the hidden truth that changed everything is no longer hidden. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you, because this final chapter reveals why your person's entire perspective shifted in an instant. They finally understood that the greatest truth about you was never something dramatic or impossible, it was something far more powerful. It was your consistency when nobody was watching. It was your quiet strength during uncertain moments. It was your ability to remain genuine even when life did not reward you immediately. Those qualities had always been there, but they had never truly been seen until now. Suddenly, every unanswered question found its answer. Every misunderstanding lost its power. Every assumption disappeared. Your person realized that the image they had created in their mind was incomplete, and the real version of you was far more remarkable than anything they had imagined. That realization did not happen slowly. It happened all at once, exactly as the title promised. Everything changed in an instant because the truth was finally impossible to ignore. Don't skip, because one final revelation remains, and it may become the part of this message you remember the longest. As they embraced this new understanding, peace replaced uncertainty. They no longer felt the need to search for more evidence because the truth itself had become undeniable. They understood that real value is often recognized only after time removes every distraction. Looking back, they could see that every delay had been preparing this exact moment of clarity. Looking ahead, they no longer saw confusion, they saw possibility. They no longer focused on what had been misunderstood, they focused on what could now be understood. That is why everything changed so quickly. The truth did not create a new story, it revealed the story that had been there all along. If this message has spoken to your heart from beginning to end, write 1111 in the comments as your angel number before you leave. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you, because sometimes the greatest transformation begins the very moment the truth is finally seen, and for your person, that moment has already begun. What happened after that realization was even more surprising than the truth itself. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you, because your person's next step was not driven by emotion alone, it was driven by complete clarity. They stopped chasing old explanations and started accepting what had been revealed right in front of them. Every doubt that once seemed so convincing suddenly became insignificant. They could now see that the truth about you had been quietly revealing itself through every season, every conversation, and every unexpected delay. Looking back, they realized that the answers had always been present, but their heart had needed time to recognize them. That recognition changed everything in an instant. It was not just a change of opinion. It was a complete change of perspective. They understood that some people are recognized only after the noise disappears, and when the noise finally faded, the truth about you became brighter than anything else. Don't skip, because there is one final layer to this journey that has not yet been uncovered. Stay with this message because what comes next explains why this moment feels so significant. Then they made a quiet promise to themselves. They promised they would never again allow assumptions to speak louder than truth. They chose patience over haste, understanding over confusion, and hope over uncertainty. In that peaceful decision, something remarkable happened. The future no longer looked unpredictable, it looked full of possibility. The discovery about you had completely transformed the way they viewed every memory and every moment still waiting to come. What once felt like the ending of a story suddenly became the beginning of a completely different chapter. If these words have reached your heart exactly when you needed them, write 7777 in the comments as your angel number. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The final part brings together every hidden clue from this journey and reveals why this truth arrived at exactly the right moment, making this message unforgettable from beginning to end. This is the moment every previous sentence has been leading toward. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you, because the final truth is not about a single event, it is about a complete transformation. Your person did not simply discover a new fact about you. They discovered that the version of you they had carried in their mind was never the real you. In one unforgettable instant, every missing piece fell into place. They realized your quiet actions had always been speaking louder than words. Your patience had been strength. Your silence had been wisdom. Your consistency had been genuine. Suddenly, everything that once seemed confusing became perfectly clear. They could no longer return to old assumptions because the truth had completely replaced them. That is why everything changed in an instant. The change did not begin outside. It began inside their heart, and once a heart truly sees the truth, nothing remains the same. Don't skip, because the final revelation is the one that gives meaning to this entire journey. Stay with this message for just a little longer, because this ending may become the beginning of something you never expected. As your person's heart settled into this new understanding, they realized that the greatest gift was not the discovery itself, it was the chance to see with new eyes. They understood that real connections are often recognized only after every misunderstanding has faded away. Looking back, they no longer focused on what had been missed. Looking forward, they saw possibility where they once saw uncertainty. That is why this message found you today. It is a reminder that truth has a way of arriving at exactly the right moment, changing perspectives, restoring hope, and opening doors that once appeared closed. If you have stayed until this final moment, write 8888 in the comments as your angel number, because you completed the entire journey from uncertainty to understanding. Don't skip the meaning of what you have just heard. Stay with the feeling it leaves behind. Something huge is waiting for you beyond today's chapter, because sometimes the most powerful change begins with one truth, one realization, and one moment that quietly changes everything forever. Just when it seemed the story had reached its end, one final surprise quietly emerged. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you, because the greatest change was never the discovery itself, it was what your person decided to do after the truth became undeniable. They realized that truth has a remarkable way of removing every false conclusion without saying a single word. As they reflected on everything they had learned about you, they understood that your character had remained steady through every season. The qualities they once overlooked had become impossible to ignore. Your patience, your sincerity, your quiet resilience, and your unwavering heart now stood brighter than every misunderstanding that had once surrounded them. In that moment, they finally admitted something to themselves that they had never been ready to admit before. The truth about you had been present all along, but they had only now become ready to recognize it. Don't skip, because what happened next connected every chapter of this journey into one unforgettable ending. Stay until the end, because the final realization is the one people remember long after the story is over. Then they made one silent decision that changed everything inside them. Instead of living according to yesterday's assumptions, they chose to move forward with today's understanding. That single decision brought a peace they had not felt in a very long time. They no longer looked at your story through uncertainty. They looked at it with respect, gratitude, and a completely renewed perspective. Suddenly, the delays no longer felt like obstacles, they felt like preparation. The unanswered questions no longer felt empty, they felt like steps leading toward clarity. That is why everything changed in an instant. It was not because circumstances suddenly became different, but because the truth finally found a heart willing to receive it. If you have stayed on this journey until now, write 3333 in the comments as your angel number before you continue. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you, because the story may be reaching its conclusion, but the meaning of this truth is only beginning to unfold, and its impact will remain long after this message ends. Just when it seemed the story had reached its end, one final surprise quietly emerged. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you, because the greatest change was never the discovery itself, it was what your person decided to do after the truth became undeniable. They realized that truth has a remarkable way of removing every false conclusion without saying a single word. As they reflected on everything they had learned about you, they understood that your character had remained steady through every season. The qualities they once overlooked had become impossible to ignore. Your patience, your sincerity, your quiet resilience, and your unwavering heart now stood brighter than every misunderstanding that had once surrounded them. In that moment, they finally admitted something to themselves that they had never been ready to admit before. The truth about you had been present all along, but they had only now become ready to recognize it. Don't skip, because what happened next connected every chapter of this journey into one unforgettable ending. Stay until the end, because the final realization is the one people remember long after the story is over. Then they made one silent decision that changed everything inside them. Instead of living according to yesterday's assumptions, they chose to move forward with today's understanding. That single decision brought a peace they had not felt in a very long time. They no longer looked at your story through uncertainty. They looked at it with respect, gratitude, and a completely renewed perspective. Suddenly, the delays no longer felt like obstacles, they felt like preparation. The unanswered questions no longer felt empty, they felt like steps leading toward clarity. That is why everything changed in an instant. It was not because circumstances suddenly became different, but because the truth finally found a heart willing to receive it. If you have stayed on this journey until now, write 3333 in the comments as your angel number before you continue. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you, because the story may be reaching its conclusion, but the meaning of this truth is only beginning to unfold, and its impact will remain long after this message ends. The final chapter begins now, and this may be the one part that stays with you long after this message ends. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you, because the truth your person discovered did more than change a single thought. It completely reshaped the way they see your place in their life. They finally understood that the answers they had been searching for were never hidden from them. They had simply been looking through the wrong perspective. Once the truth became clear, every memory connected like pieces of a masterpiece. The conversations they almost forgot, the quiet moments they once overlooked, and the small acts of kindness they barely noticed suddenly became impossible to ignore. They realized your consistency had always carried meaning. Your patience had always carried purpose. Your quiet strength had always been speaking, even when no words were exchanged. In that instant, everything changed exactly as the title promised. Their heart no longer questioned who you were. It finally recognized you for who you had been all along. Don't skip, because the greatest message is still unfolding. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you, and this final realization brings every part of this journey together. As this story reaches its conclusion, remember the one lesson that quietly appeared in every chapter: truth always arrives at the right moment. It cannot be rushed, and it cannot remain hidden forever. Your person now understands that what seemed confusing was actually preparing them for clarity, what seemed delayed was actually preparing them for perfect timing, and what once looked ordinary was quietly becoming extraordinary. Their perspective has changed, their heart has changed, and their future now looks different because the truth has replaced every misunderstanding. If this message has stayed with you until the very last word, write 1212 in the comments as your angel number and let it be your reminder that meaningful moments often begin in complete silence. Don't skip the meaning of this journey. Stay with what you have felt from beginning to end, because sometimes one revelation changes everything in an instant, but its impact continues long after the moment has passed. And perhaps the most beautiful part of this story is that the truth was never late. It arrived at exactly the moment it was meant to be seen. Before you leave, there is one last truth that deserves to be heard, because this is the piece that completes everything. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Your person now understands that the truth they discovered was never about changing who you are, it was about changing how they saw you. In one unforgettable moment, they realized that every misunderstanding had been built on incomplete information. The answers they had been searching for were hidden inside the moments they once considered ordinary. They remembered your quiet patience, your genuine heart, your calm strength, and the way you remained true to yourself even when nobody seemed to notice. Those memories became impossible to ignore. They no longer questioned your intentions because the truth had become clearer than every doubt that came before it. That single realization changed their entire perspective. The past suddenly made sense. The present felt different. Even the future looked brighter because they were finally seeing with clarity instead of assumption. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you, because the most meaningful revelation is not behind you, it is still unfolding inside every choice made after the truth is accepted. Now the journey reaches its quiet conclusion, but its meaning continues beyond this moment. Your person has learned that genuine understanding is never forced. It arrives when the heart becomes willing to see beyond appearances. That is why everything changed in an instant. The truth removed every false story and replaced it with something real, lasting, and impossible to overlook. Sometimes the greatest turning point is not a dramatic event but a single moment of complete clarity that changes every thought that follows. If this message has stayed with you from the first word until now, write 1717 in the comments as your angel number and let it remind you that meaningful discoveries often arrive when they are least expected. Don't skip the lesson hidden inside this journey. Stay with the feeling this message leaves behind. Something huge is waiting for you, because every ending built on truth quietly becomes the beginning of a brand new chapter filled with understanding, hope, and possibilities that were invisible only moments before. One final echo remains, and it may become the most unforgettable part of this entire journey. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Long after your person discovered the truth about you, they realized that the greatest surprise was not the discovery itself, it was how completely it transformed the way they remembered every moment connected to you. Conversations they once considered ordinary suddenly carried hidden meaning. Quiet moments they barely noticed became impossible to forget. They finally understood that your actions had always revealed your character more clearly than words ever could. Your consistency became your signature. Your patience became your strength. Your quiet confidence became the answer to questions they had carried for far too long. In that instant, they stopped searching for another explanation because the truth had already answered everything they needed to know. The story they once believed disappeared forever, replaced by a deeper understanding that felt both unexpected and undeniable. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you, because there is one last realization that completes every chapter of this message. As the silence settled, your person recognized something extraordinary. The truth had not only changed how they saw you, it had changed how they would make every decision from this moment forward. They realized that real value is often recognized only after every distraction fades away. That is why this revelation arrived exactly when it did. Not too early. Not too late. At the perfect moment for a genuine change of heart. Looking back, they felt gratitude instead of confusion. Looking ahead, they saw hope instead of uncertainty. They understood that some truths are powerful enough to rewrite an entire future with a single moment of clarity. If this message has stayed with you until this very last chapter, write 1414 in the comments as your angel number and carry its meaning with you today. Don't skip the lesson hidden inside this journey. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you, because the most meaningful transformations do not begin with noise, they begin with one quiet truth that changes everything forever.